Benjamin Brown is a sales coach. He started teaching business owners how to sell when he realized that many small businesses don't use a sales process. In this episode, you will learn about the importance of having a sales process and how it differs from simply being good with people. Benjamin emphasizes the need for measurement and constant improvement in sales. He also shares his 10-step sales process, insights on selling to different personality types, as well as the significance of referrals and network marketing in sales.
Sales is a communication, it's a language. It needs to be taught, right? You could be outgoing, you could be a people person, but sales is a process, right? And so if you don't understand that process, then you could sell, but you don't have a process, you're not a salesman. You're just good working with people, and they say, oh, he's a people person, he has great people, he's outgoing, right? That's good. He has a high. So one of the requirements for being a good salesperson is having 80% of sales is confidence. So if somebody's very confident, that's great. Doesn't mean he knows how to sell. He could talk to people. So talking at people is a communication, but sales is a system, right? So it has to be measured. So if you take somebody who's, I think he'll be a great salesperson, I would say, why? You say, they're very outgoing. Okay. They can talk to anybody. Okay. That's still not characteristics to what a salesperson is. So when I was management, I could take someone who's very introverted, but systematized, would run circles around somebody who has a personality, because the person who's systematized is going to do the system. And when they realize they do something wrong, they're going to be able to correct it quicker than somebody who's outgoing. That outgoing person, I'll give tips to, and they'd be like, well, I'm just good with sales. I don't need to do all of that. So when sales goes down, which it fluctuates, and you take some things out of context, which you don't know that you're doing because you're not measuring what you're doing. So you're not improving or understanding you're going down. When you go down for a long period of time, they're not ready to correct. Right? So that's the problem. That's the issue. So sales is something that has to be constantly corrected, like marketing, like accounting. So the same thing with sales. You just don't do sales. It's a system. So the first thing I ask when people are working in entrepreneurship, I say, what is your sales process? They can't answer the question most of the time. So what are you doing? How do you correct it? How do you measure it? They do it based upon the numbers that's coming in. But if you're doing outbound sales or inbound, where you're communicating with people besides email and Instagram, where you're actually having a process, if you don't have that set up where you can measure it, that's why the phone rings when things start going wrong. My phone rings. Hey, I don't know if you can help us, right? That means competition came in. That means trends have changed. Certain drastic things have people to start really focusing on sales. What do people really focus on?
They tend to focus on the problems in their business and the things that are going wrong.
Marketing.
Exactly.
Marketing will get us out of everything. If we spend enough on ads, marketing, if we spend enough on Facebook ads, Instagram, low-hanging fruit, right? Where we don't have to go out and hunt. We just have it come to us. So if I spend enough money for it to come to us, I'm great. But as far as if that runs out, the money runs out, or if it doesn't work, there's a problem, or they don't even have a closing ratio. You got all of this coming in. Are you closing it?
Yeah, no, that's completely true. And I wonder for you, what was your kind of first experience with sales? What was the first thing that you sold, and what were you like as a salesperson when you were at that point at your first sales job?
Well, my first sales job was in fitness. That actually brings me full circle to where I'm at right now, because I'm more of a life coach, sales coach. So I take people who want to do sales or actually be better in life, and realize over the last 2 years, when I've started training 5 years ago, discipline takes a lot to help with sales. So implementing the actual nutritional and the fitness aspect of it, working with macros, fitness training, helps people to become a whole person, because your confidence level has to fluctuate based upon the rejection that you get. Just learning sales and reading a book does not work. I've worked with people and I say, do this, and they couldn't do it. And I couldn't figure out why. It's because they didn't have the discipline to do it. So I had to envision or start a program, and I worked with, found the right coach that can put that into the same thing. But by encompassing the fitness and the nutritional aspect, I was getting more results from the people that I was working with that wanted to learn or produce more sales. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100% it does. And so I'm also wondering, you said you started out in the fitness space. That was what you were kind of selling, is fitness-based products or
Mm-hmm.
fitness-based services. You've got a lot of experience in lots of different fields, and I'm wondering how those different fields have impacted you as a salesperson and made you a stronger salesperson.
Oh, well, what it made me understand that sales is simple, but it's not easy. So each sales or different products that I sold had the same similar process, but I just took one from each to develop a 10-step process. So every sales has 10 steps, but every company doesn't need all 10. Fitness has 5: need, use, affordability, spouse, guest pass. That's the 5 that you need in your sales process when you sell memberships at a gym. Now, if you're working something else, say software, it might need or require 7 out of the 10 steps, but you still, every sale has that. So when I went everywhere, it followed me everywhere. Have a process. Most companies, the reason they have problems is they don't provide the salespeople with enough tools for them to be successful. Hence, high turnover. We'll feed until we find that diamond, that person that can come in and just do it without us putting a lot of effort, training, because it costs a lot of money, time, and effort to train an individual,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. So what is this kind of 10-step sales process? Talk me through it, a very, not even brief version, but, a very kind of watered down version, just so I can get an understanding of the 10 steps that you have to go through as a salesperson in order to close a lead.
It's simple, but it's not easy. So the first is being prepared. Number step, one of your most important steps, 80% confidence. Not being able to assume, are you physically, mentally prepared to take the rejection? Do you know where you're going in your process? Do you know what you're saying? Because you have to do multiple things in the sales process. Number 2, of course, what is that? After you being prepared, connecting and relating. Do you have a relationship with the person you're trying to communicate with? Because I'm going to ask more difficult questions than an average salesperson to make sure I'm not wasting my time. I'm the prize. I'm providing a solution. I'm not trying to rip you off. Sales could be used for good 2 things: to help or to hurt. So I'm going to use my talent to help. I'm still going to need to figure out more detailed information about your problem so I can ask more difficult questions up time to save me time to realize if you somebody I can help or not. So I need to be able to understand when I ask you these questions, don't be standoffish. So connect and relate. Where you're from, some type of coalition. Are you married? Do you have children? Your sports, something like that, to humor, something that's going to lower your barriers to be honest with me on the questions. Number 2, qualification. Besides yourself, is there anyone else in the decision making process? I need to ask you that. Or am I wasting my time? I can't have you pitch the pitcher, pitch the buyer. That's my job. So if you're the husband and your wife makes the decision, she needs to be on the call. You can't pitch like I can. You can't answer the questions like I'm not going to pay you money to go do that to sell your wife and come back and say, well, she decided. I'm like, and I can't answer the objections. It's a waste of my time, right? That's why when you go on the high end deals, they ask you, is anyone else? Are you married? Right? Do you have a spouse, significant other? Like who else holds the money? Right? That's why they ask. Number 3 is number 4 is emotional triggers. What is the emotional reason why you want this solved? Pain or pleasure? If I'm able to answer that, I can solve half the sale. No pain, no pleasure, no sale. I kind of want it. You kind of want it? Well, I've just been thinking about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 5. Okay, well, I see there's no resolution here. There's no reason for you to pull out any money to solve the problem. You could just deal with it, right? Yeah, there's nothing I can do for you here. Let me know if you change your mind. I'm not going to pitch you and wish that you would buy it. I could do it for practice purposes, but more than likely, your scale of actually making a commitment is very small. So I knew right ahead, even if I pitch you and don't get you, I'm not disappointed. It wasn't really me. You're not really hot on this product or service. You're not. A good salesperson can turn you, right? But the next is set up the presentation. So now that I know there's a problem, if I could, would you? So if I could provide it for you, not saying I can, is there any problem with us moving forward? When? Today. Why today? You have to tell me why not today. Very simple, small little steps and then the presentation. But the main end results of the 10 steps is not the sale, but the way I teach it is that you're in that demographic. If I sell you, you're the average of the people you hang around with, more than likely there's somebody in your demographic that would want this product or service as well. My sales process geared towards getting a testimonial and a referral. The sale is secondary.
Because those are the best
I've
sales.
worked with
Those are the best sales
I've
that you
worked
can
with
make.
individuals where I went into the presentation, found out they didn't buy it, right? But in the end, the sales process was smooth enough that I can ask for a referral. Got the referral, sold two of the friends, didn't even sell the original person. Didn't cost me a dime. When you run a business like that, you run it on a shoestring type budget, you don't need a lot of marketing to beat your competition, right? It's a secret. I could take the money that I got from that $2,000 profit each. I can go back into marketing, or I can take that money and put back into the business in some other type of way and continue to sell. Ask those two people that I sold for two other people. Next thing I know, if I'm lucky, I might get 3 out of the 2. So there's 5 people I sold from one person I didn't sell. I didn't have to I only spent a dime for that one person. Think past the sale.
Yeah.
Right?
I definitely think that a lot of sales as well is about educating a person on the product or the service. And then once you've educated them on the product or service, or once they have a kind of rough understanding of where you come into the process and how you can help them, it's about really qualifying if this is right for them. Do you know what I mean? I think a bad salesperson will go, yeah, we're the best because we have this and we have that and we do this and we do that. It's like, is what we do or is what I'm offering actually solving, like you said, a problem, or is it bringing you pleasure? And that is something that a lot of salespeople kind of get hung up on. I'm wondering for you what the...
No, because they want to go to the presentation. That's the happy land for a salesperson. If I can only just get to the presentation, just wait what I got to tell you. Wait what I got to show you. When you go, when's the last time you bought an automobile?
Oh, God, a long time ago. And I was one of those people that I'd already looked at it all online. I was coming in to buy that specific car. There was nothing else you could tell me to buy.
Right, because why did you do that?
Because I knew what I wanted to spend. I knew what kind of car I wanted to drive. I knew what kind of specs I wanted. And, as far as I'd found online, bearing in mind, that was the best price and best car for that kind of price point I was looking at.
Right. So how much time did you spend in front of a person to purchase that car?
Oh, probably about half an hour. Barely anything. It's probably one of the easiest sales they made all week, to be fair.
Right. Because you did your research. You already knew. You sold it yourself. Right? So you're going to go buy a Bentley. Can you do that?
No, you can't. Well, you can look at used ones online, but to buy a new one, you have to go into the dealership, yeah.
Because they give you a what? An experience. Right? It's prestigious to buy a Bentley. You want to go through the process because it's what? So the difference between buying your car and buying a Bentley is because what's the two differences there? It's about the what? The process. Right? So you probably go to Bentley, you get there, they're probably going to give you some champagne. They probably, right?
Yeah.
Same car. 4 wheels.
Yeah.
Still drives the same. You're still going to go the same speed. Right? It's just a difference in value. And then that's why people would say when you come in, you made $1 million, you pull up at your family's house, they're like, why did you buy that? You can get a regular car. Why did you? Spend all that money on that. It's because of what? I'm prestigious,
Mm.
right? This is the emotional things that people have,
Mm.
right? So if you understand that in the emotional trigger in that step, no matter whether you're doing a Bentley or you're doing a toaster, it's the same type of process.
Yeah.
Because Bentley is very high on what? Referrals, because their market is so small, right? So if you could buy that Bentley, you go and tell your friend about it. You come driving them up at their house because they probably have a Ferrari. They're going to try to take the money that you would spend for a Ferrari. As you get older, you don't want to climb into a car anymore, right? You been in one of those cars?
Yeah, they're very low to the ground.
Yeah. How tall are you?
Not that tall, about 5'10".
So you're 5'10". So getting in and out of that feels like what in the rain when it's pouring rain.
Oh, not the best. No, yeah, you're basically lying on the ground.
So if you're making that type of money and you want to show up at a restaurant, do you want to climb out of your car in a suit, or would you rather step out in a Bentley that's higher up? Right? Same prestige, right?
Mm.
You see the difference?
Yeah. So I wondered if you could tell me kind of how to bring emotions into selling. How can we get an emotional trigger out of somebody to, get them to really want the product or service that we're selling?
All right, so there's a number of reasons people buy. What is it gonna? How is the main thing is that in your presentation you ask the question, how is it gonna make you feel?
Mm.
Women do it all the time, guys don't. How do you feel? Oh, so basically, what the big secret that I'm telling you is, people buy on emotion, right? You buy the Bentley because why? You bought the car online for what?
To solve a need. I needed a car to drive.
What need did you have
The need for quicker transportation.
beforehand?
Well, I didn't have a
Did you
car.
sell a car to get a car? Did you already have a car as your first car?
Oh no, this would have been my second car that I would have been buying.
So you already had a car.
Yeah.
So you traded it in.
Hmm.
Why?
Time to upgrade. The car was, giving me too many problems, all that kind of stuff.
What kind of problems was it giving you?
It's just breaking down. It's an old car. Do you know what I mean? The car was well over, gosh, like 10, 12 years old. It was getting to that point where it was costing me more to keep it on the road than it was, the amount I'm putting in to use it type thing.
So it was breaking down, right?
Hmm.
And it was costing you more, right?
Hmm.
Really? That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it was annoying. The car was unreliable, basically. It's one of those ones where I think to myself, oh, I'm going to drive here. And it's like, oh, maybe that's a bit far. What if the car breaks down? Then I won't be able to, you know what I mean? There's all these kind of issues that would creep in with the idea of using the car. The use of the car.
So it was annoying.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing.
Nah, not particularly. It was all right. It was a
So
good car.
nobody was in the car and broke down when you were in the car,
Luckily,
right? So
no, actually. Surprisingly,
Luckily,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, surprisingly, no, yeah.
Surprised. So you were surprised it didn't break down when somebody was in the car with you, right?
Yeah, I was just more so because I would do short trips. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you wouldn't show off. You didn't have a car to show off.
No, not in the slightest, no.
So were you single at the time?
Probably not, no. No, I doubt it.
You were in a relationship?
Yeah.
So who would be, if your car broke down, the people out of which one would you be most embarrassed to ride in your car if that happened?
Well, if I'm honest, at the time, it probably would have been my friends, just because I imagine my girlfriend at the time would not have, let's say, made jokes and all kind of like a big deal out of it. Whereas my friends would have been, look at this piece of rubbish, that kind of thing. They would have really kind of ripped into me, which is a bit more embarrassing than, just, oh, me and my girlfriend are stranded somewhere type thing.
So how would that make you feel if that happened?
Oh gosh, terrible. Yeah, it would have been really, really embarrassing. Yeah.
So if I had a car that can solve that problem where you don't have to feel what?
Embarrassed.
And what else?
Oh, I don't remember what I just said, to be fair.
Terrible.
Yeah.
See? So what am I selling you?
Well, you're selling me more so on the vision of what the car would do as opposed to what the car is, if that makes sense.
You don't want to feel what?
Well, embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel what? Terrible.
Yeah.
Right? So if I can do that and we can get based on your budget, what you're looking at, and the car is affordable for you, so you don't have to feel that way ever again. Can we get this done?
Yeah.
Now, did I tell you anything about the car?
Oh no, you just sold the solution of
Did
the
I go
car.
through any features? No.
Yeah.
So that is what most salespeople don't do. They don't slow the process down. Oh, you want a new car? Great. The car's old? Good. All right. Well, you need to get a new car, right? Let me tell you what I got compared to what you have now. Comparisons. And then hype. Then I get toward the end and I say, well, it's going to be, 30,000. You're like, hey, I'm looking for a better deal. Now, I don't even know if you're shopping, so on and so forth. I'm assuming a lot. You don't assume. So the difference between good and great salespeople is the number of questions that you ask.
Is that more so asking why? Because I've had a previous guest that said, not even in the sales process, but just in general in getting to know somebody and building rapport, you should ask why, multiple times, why this, why that.
Yeah. Did I ask you that too, right?
Indeed you did, yes.
See, the things that I asked you, you didn't pay attention to it. You're just having a conversation, you think. But I'm selling you. Because I'm going to ask you difficult questions, and the only way I can get to ask those questions if I connect and relate. Where you from? London. Where's your girlfriend? You got friends. Now I know, I'm starting to build a demographic on you, right? You've dated before, you had friends, you had a bad car. This is your second car. You've had 2 cars already. See, all of these things starts clicking for a salesperson. It's like, okay, how can I help them? How can I help them? Sometimes you don't know you need help yourself. That's why sales will never go away.
Yeah.
AI is getting good, and it might get good one day, but it's not that good right now to figure out the human instinct on why people want. Because when I sell you your product, the first thing I'm going to ask you is for your friends and family to sell them, so I don't have to go out and hunt again. I don't like to hunt. I like to sell. Right?
Yeah.
If I gave you a sales job where you had inbound, I said, Sam, you got inbound. You make $200,000 a year. We bring all the leads in. You just have to close, and they're constantly coming in all day, and you're going to work about 8 hours a day. How would you feel? Feel good, right?
Yeah.
If I came in and said, Sam, we're going to pay you 50, but you're going to have to dial out and cold call all day. Which one would you take?
Well, I've had a job that was all outbound sales, and honestly, it was the hardest thing in the world. You want to talk about, mastering rejection, or just trying to keep someone on the phone past the, hey, hi, I'm calling from this place. I want to click. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really hard.
How long did you last?
Oh, I was there about 9 months, and climbed through the ranks, did what I was doing. But I realized for me, outbound sales, for starters, just wasn't my type of thing. And as well as that, just telesales was not my type of thing. It was really, really difficult to get in there every day at 7:30 in the morning, start dialing, and keep doing that for the next 12 hours. It was a real grind. Yeah.
Because you had to be what? Mentally
prepared. Yeah. Mentally focused.
On a regular basis.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the athletes. Footballers, right? American football in Europe, you have how many games? Right? How many practices you have to show? You have to be mentally ready. You can't come in and slump, right? You're a professional. Same thing in sales. That's why people can't cut it. First of all, how difficult is it for you to come into that job with a hangover and do it?
Yeah. Well, you can't. You have to come in on top form. But the problem is you spent all day working so hard. You want to drink at the end of the day. And that's not one drink. It's 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So it's a snowball effect. So 9 months you got burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah. I had enough of it, to be fair.
I did mine for 5 years.
Yeah. Different level of toughness.
$125 to $184 a day. Right? We got pissed off when we got computers. Slowed us down. Like, we don't want computers. We just want to die.
Yeah. What was that time like for you over the 5 years?
Oh, it's great. We're making anywhere back in this late 90s, we're making, anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 a week. That's good money. working nine to six, go home on the weekends. That's why salespeople are different type of people, individuals. You're able to do that on a regular basis. I left the job finally. I went to another job, and this was 100% commission, Sam.
Mm.
No insurance, no 401k. We had stock in the company, but yeah. And then when I left the company, I went to another company. They're like, "You're outstanding. You've been, I've been in boot camp, right, for 5 years." So the people came and said, "We're going to start you off with 35,000." I was like, 35,000 leads? They were like, no, 35,000 salary. Salary? I'm like, yeah. You're going to pay me just to come in?
Yeah.
My whole mind was like, you're going to pay me just to show up? I had to earn my keep every week, right? Because if you didn't sell, they were out. But it was a nice paying company and everything. It was a culture. You got so used to that, right?
Yeah.
It's like a football player coming in. We're going to pay you this year. You don't have to score any points. Really? I just have to just come in and just show up for practice? Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. You've been playing for 10 years, making money based upon your points or whatever. That's it's a different type of deal. So that's why when I do my training with people, you're mentally and physically able to take rejection. When you finish, you're able to go out and cold call, for a long period of time and get more than anyone else. So you're able to hunt. You can hunt. I can go find my own leads because I can use this. This can find you anybody you want in the world. Million problems through this. You're a problem solver. Get on the phone. But most people want to do ads and have people just click and buy, and that's the life that we live right now. But there's still people, need closing. Anything over $500 normally need a voice behind it, right? Your car was over $500, probably. You didn't need to talk to anybody, so it's getting automatized. But but there's still people out there that still needs that. Your phone still rings at 7:00 with somebody trying to pitch you something, right?
Yeah.
That's not going to go away.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree that getting on the phone or even getting to see someone in person is a way better sales, way to go about sales than anything. Like emails and all these ads and all that kind of stuff, they work to get people in the door. Maybe they work to get people as leads, but when you want to get to that point of someone putting their credit card in or transferring that money over, you need to get on the phone. They need to have a connection with somebody at this company or at this entity that will, get them over the line. And yeah, there'll be those people that, like myself when I was buying my car, kind of rock up and be like, hey, I'm going to buy this, no problem. But outside of that small bit of customer service or that small bit of, showing face is what gets people over the line, is what I found.
There's no better time to be a salesperson right now. With all the social media, all the millennials, all the people living in their little apartments, no families, less friends than ever, less communication skills, less ability for people to communicate, less people want to talk to other people or don't have it. It takes practice. So if you don't have people skills, they call it people skills, right? You're at an advantage. You're the different one, the smaller group of people that, back in the 40s and 50s, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have telephones. You had to go out and hunt. You had to go face to face. Then televisions came in, right? Then radio ads came in, right? Where you can call in to somebody after you got pitched on the radio. Then what? Telephones came. House phones. Boom. House phones came in. Another tool. These are all tools. Then slowly over the progression, email came in. Then boom, cell phones hit. Wow, now everybody has their own individual deals. You can reach people. Back in the days, you imagine you're trying to sell somebody and they were never in the office? You couldn't get them on the phone. They were not in the office, Sam.
Yeah.
You couldn't reach them. They had no cell phones. You had to wait for them to come back to the office. Now you call the receptionist. She needs to get this. What's the cell phone number? You call him. He's on the golf course. This better be good.
Yeah. I'm wondering as well, how do you deal with rejection? Because that is one of the the key things about sales. And I know from you saying that you've been in that environment for, years and years and years, you've dealt with countless rejections. So how do you overcome rejections?
Right. You feed on it.
Okay.
The dog hunts. You mentally understand that either you take the rejection, use it as motivation. So I've had salespeople, I'm like, oh, we need to get 3 sales today. Their whole goal is 3 sales. I said, well, let's get the process down. This is the training trick I use. Let's get the process down. Let's practice it. Let's role play it many times. Make sure we get that down perfectly, right? Let's get that down. Don't worry about the sales. Let's just get the process. Let's just role play it in our head and play it with me until we got it to tone down everything down. Let's go out and let's get 100 no's in a day. That's our goal. Let's get 100 no's. Yeah, let's go get 100 no's. Good. Let's focus on that. How many sales you did today? 7.
Yeah.
What was the goal? 2. But because you were focused on the no's, you wasn't focused on the rejection. You're focused on the process. You didn't care about the no's. Right?
Yeah.
That's why I kill people. Homeless person in the street that knows exactly his demographics and not too shy and mentally there. How much can they make per day, Sam?
I have no clue. I've heard crazy numbers before. They can make hundreds of dollars in a day sometimes.
Only between $300 to $1,000 a day, right? Right?
Apparently so, yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's tax free, right?
Cash in hand.
So say $700. They make $700 a day, and if you worked a job, taxes, that's probably about $1,000 a day. That's why you don't see them out there, right? Every time you don't need to because they don't have overhead. They don't have a mortgage. They don't have a fax machine. They don't have anything else. Now, okay, they're out there in the corner. They're doing the same thing as a business person. Same thing. Sales is everywhere, right? When they get the money, when you give them the money or when that person gives them the money, what does a person get in return, Sam?
They get a good, happy feeling that they're helping somebody, that type of thing. Oh, I don't know what they get then.
Good. What do they get in their hand?
Oh, cash. Oh, you're talking about the homeless person. Yeah, they get cash. They get money.
What does the person giving them the money get?
I don't know. That happy feeling, I guess.
What do you get in your hand that you can see? What do you get? You're giving them money. What do you get?
Nothing.
So the homeless person is selling what?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Their story.
And making how much?
Well, loads.
And making how much a day?
Crazy money a day.
Huh?
Hundreds of dollars a day.
Okay. And what are they using? What tools are they using?
Persuasion. I guess a bit of like dramatizing.
Are they using email?
Yeah, they're not using.
Are they using Facebook ads?
Yeah.
Are they have a salespeople staff in the back?
No, they don't.
So how is one person with no tools making $700 a day selling what?
Nothing.
And you got entrepreneurs can't make $700 a day to save their life. $700 a day times what? 20 is what?
A big number. About 190,000.
$700 a day times 20 is $14,000 a month.
Yeah.
Most entrepreneurs are not making $14,000 a month. And that's cash.
Yeah.
That homeless person, if they was out there every day, would make what would $14,000 do for a homeless person? It would put them back in the system. They don't want to be in the system. They'd rather just chill. Who wants to pay rent and pay bills and pay taxes and go to work? Just get the money, whatever I need, and go sit down under the tree or go back to the home or go get something to drink and go hang out. But they're using the same system. So homeless people can outsell entrepreneurs. Why?
Because they're hungry for it.
What let's see, what persona are they using? What are they that makes them do that? I'm gonna give you a word. It's one word.
I have no clue.
Okay, let me answer it for you. They're focused.
Right.
They go out there, they don't care what they look like. They don't care what game was on last night. They don't care about their friends, how they look. They don't care about the family. They don't care what nobody else is saying to them. They don't care about the negative rejection that they're getting on a regular basis. They don't care. They're only focused on getting to what their goal is, normally $300 to $700, and then they leave. So all the people in the car that looks at them, oh, look at this poor person. That guy's focused. He got a little, maybe he has a sign that he did his little marketing on, and that's it. He's killing it. Because he's focused on what he wants. So most salespeople are not focused. Most entrepreneurs are, what's going on last night? Let's go get some coffee. Let's sit down and have a drink. Let's take a couple phone calls. Let's casually do this. No goals. Let's see if we can market. Let's see if we can spend some more money on this. All this kind of stuff, right? But are they on the phone killing it? Are they taking rejection? And their product normally is what? Anywhere probably between $200 to $10,000.
Yeah.
But they can't sell it. A homeless person is selling what?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. I mean, this sounds a bit like Jordan Belfort's straight line method of you need to be on this kind of straight line of selling. So you need to always be selling this one thing. If you go up here, then you need to get back to the line. If you go down here, you need to get back to the line. That focus of making sure you're always selling what you're trying to sell as opposed to going all about the places is kind of what you described in this kind of homelessness story.
Belfort's like a dog like me. He's old school. This came before these tools, before the internet. Now on the internet, how many ways you could sell? Oh, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. What else? What else is there?
Google Ads,
Patreon, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Then every marketer's hitting you up all kind of ways. Email campaigns, webinars, all of this. We came before all of that. That wasn't existent, but business was still going on. How? Because there was a sale always going on. The process never stopped. But now that we have all these tools, these have now become distractions for people. They're watching everybody. They're watching everybody else. Oh, if I just do that. Ooh, if I could just get 10,000 a month. Ooh, if I can. So children are now, it's not as hard. It's hard as hell. But these social media is not telling you that. They think, oh, you just put a website up and click here and then boom, you're going to be a millionaire. And oh my goodness. And then every marketer is going to hit you up, taking anywhere between $500 to $10,000 a month from you. Until you either run out of money, figure it out, or hire a mentor. So that's why the mentoring program is so important for most people, especially if you want to sell. So when I train people, they can work for anybody. They can sell for themselves. They can sell for any company. They understand what a sales is. So any product or service, you could sell, magnifying glass on Friday. You can sell refrigerators on Monday because you can sell. You're not afraid. Your confidence level is high. So what I work with people, the first thing I have to learn, do you love or like what you sell? If you don't love it, like it, leave it. Because it's not going to work. Because people can feel that.
Yeah.
Right? They can feel fakeness.
What advice would you give to someone who's starting out in sales? Obviously you've been in sales for such a long time, but with all the experience you've got now, what advice would you give to that person who's 17,
Get a mentor.
18? Okay.
Get a mentor. Most of the people I train, they have 5 or 6 books sitting behind them, and then you always got the people you interview. We got the library. Yeah. I love those people. This is how smart I am. Look at all of my books in the back. PhD. Those are the harder people to sell because they overanalyze too. Doctors, lawyers, PhDs, harder to sell. Those guys are they overanalyze. They can't make a decision. They got to think about it all the time. They're thinking about something all the time. That's the thing about philosophers. They're always thinking. They're not doers. The process has to end. It's not continuation.
Yeah.
Doctors are harder to sell because they normally don't make decisions. They make lifetime decisions. They don't make business decisions. So when you sell them a process, a product, or something like that, they always refer to the office manager. They don't want to deal with that. They have to study, keep up to date, go to seminars, learn about anatomy, all these different. They don't want to be making business decisions. And lawyers, dear Lord, the paperwork they'll give you most of the time, they're so analytical. They can't try to sell them. It's frustrating because they'll break everything down. And what happens is this. And look, man. Like, come on. They use their lawyer mind, right? So those are the three hardest people to sell, actually. But besides that, and then top of that is anybody in the auto industry, because that is very high pressure sales up there. Like I worked with a company that did ads for automotive, and we had to sell car salesmen. That was your target market. Now, that was the top end. When I say top dog, you're selling car salesman managers. These guys been in the game 30, 40 years in sales. That's who you had to sell. So on the phone, you had 7 seconds, and you got turned down all the time and bull crap all the time. It's one of the hardest that I had to put people through, but I had to train them to do that. Like, you could do this, because it was like a wall with a small little hole you had to climb through, because those guys, top of the food chain when it comes to sales. Right?
Yeah. And I'm also wondering, because you've sold so many things and also now you're selling people on your program of teaching people how to sell, what are some people's common misconceptions with the sales process and your sales process in particular?
They think it's easy. It's a skill. So I'll give you an analogy. You want to learn, right? A high-end welder, a guy knows how to bead weld. You understand that stipulation, welding?
Yeah.
You've probably known somebody been in that, right? They make real good money, right?
Yeah.
How long did it take them to do that?
Oh, it depends how big the weld is, but not very long at all. Yeah.
But they had to learn under somebody.
Yeah.
Right? When you become a plumber, carpentry, you go under what's called an apprenticeship, right? And you don't become a master carpenter coming out of school. You have to work under somebody, right? It's a skill, highly paid skill. Normally $75, $85 an hour, what you're going to make, right? Plumbing, right? Sales is a skill. It's on the same shelf. It's something you could do the remainder of your life if you want to. You can have a career in sales. But you got to understand, if I take somebody coming out of high school and I work with them for 6 months, they'll make way more money than anybody coming out of college. All the way up to a medical and a lawyer type deal. They can be 6, depending on the product. They get to pick what they want to sell. You can sell Lear jets, cars. You can sell everything. Your whole thing is opening up. It's like being an actor, right? You can do any kind of role. So your skill is your talent. And you have to believe in yourself. And a lot of people don't. That's why I do life coaching, right? I do people getting people back their confidence, because people don't believe in themselves. Most of the people I work with years ago, I'm like, why these guys ain't doing the things I taught them to do? It's because mentally they wasn't able to do it. Even though I'm telling you exactly what to do, you still wouldn't do it. It's because mentally you didn't believe in yourself to do it. And in sales, you don't have that opportunity to not be 100% there. The customer has one powerful tool that they use. It's a powerful word, 2 letters. No. Right? So you could make millions. Every entrepreneur out there that started Amazon, you talk about the guy who owns the Mavericks, the guys that you see on, what's the show that you see, Shark Tank? Mark Cuban says the first thing you need to do when you're an entrepreneur is learn how to sell. Marketing will bring people to the table, but it won't convert. What are your sales? The first thing that you, right? What's your sales? How are you selling? Right? It's a great product. I like it. What do they say? It's a great product. They'll look at it. Oh, it's a great product. I like it. Yeah. What's your sales? If you're having problems selling it, why would I invest in that? I'm investing in what? You. So if you're not selling it, how do you want me to sell it? Well, you're the guys. Yeah, but I'm not doing all that kind of work. I've already done that. That's why I'm here on this side, right? That's why I have the money. because I've already sold. I'm not trying to work any harder. I'm not trying to make you a millionaire if you don't believe in yourself, right? Come back in 6 months. Come back in a year. Tell us about the numbers. We'll talk, right?
Yeah.
That's the truth. That's business.
So
That's business.
what can entrepreneurs and business owners do to get a better sales process? Whether that's getting more leads converted or even just getting more leads through the door to convert.
See, the thing you just said is the same thing most guys do. More leads, right? You want to be in the Hall of Fame as a baseball player. You're asking me how many can I get some more at bats?
Mm.
And I'm telling you, why are you not knocking the ones out you already have?
Mm.
Right? Everybody always goes back to leads. How do I get more leads? Yeah. If you give me 100 at bats, I'm pretty sure I'm going to knock out 3.
Yeah.
Right? But if you give me 10, can I knock out 3? So a salesperson will take the 10 because he'll take the 3 and he'll convert that into maybe 2 more and then convert that in. So the 10 you're giving him today and the 10 you're giving him tomorrow is stacking. Whereas the other person is just going to come back to you and say, you know what? It's just not, they'll tell you everything. It's not the time of the year. It's the end of the month. People are not buying. That guy wasn't feeling it. Salesmen are good at selling you why they're not buying.
Hmm. So what's the secret to referrals then, I wonder?
Asking.
Mm.
In a right way, it's a different sales process. It's an add-on sales process. It's another step, right? It is a process, just like a sale. It's a different type of sale.
Mm.
So you ever heard of network marketing?
Yes.
Most of the companies that do network marketing, do you see any advertisement?
No, it's all word of mouth.
All word of mouth. Because they have a what process?
Well, a sales process. Not the best sales process because a lot of it's not even about the products. It's about
No, but they have a what?
Up.
Yeah, but they have a what process?
Sales process.
A referral
process. Yeah.
I don't need to put ads out. I don't need to do radios. I'm getting it from the people who are in. I'm giving you a piece of the pie to go tell your friend. All I have to do is sell you. Because if I sell enough of you, you're going to sell enough for everybody else. Mm. So I'd rather take the money I will in marketing and give you a little small midget of it to go sell your other friend. And that little piece, the little 10% I'm giving you, 10% I'm giving your friend, I'm making 90%. Mm. I don't mind giving you 10% back to not only buy the product, but a little commission for yourself to go get your friends. And then you'll get 10%, and then you'll get 10%. Mm. So as long as you get 10% from your buddies down, I get 10% from them too. You bring in 5 people, you're making what? 50% on 500%, and I'm still making the same too. Mm. All I got to do is teach you how to sell.
So
teach you how to hunt.
What is your view on network marketing or multi-level marketing? I'm wondering because most salespeople are really kind of, when I say against that, I mean, as in they're like, oh, it's just a scam. There's nothing getting sold at the end of the day. You're just selling people. But I'm wondering what your view is on that kind of stuff.
It's a different process with a different product, whether you like it or not. The insurance industry is keen on that. Life insurance, how you don't like it? Life insurance, that's how they make their money. That's why the stadiums have life insurance. This is why the buildings in your town, one of them is a life insurance company. Mm. It happens. The biggest network marketers is the life insurance companies. They always ask you for referrals, don't they?
Yeah.
They're king of that. You might see a commercial here and there, but most of the time, that's how life insurance policies started back in the 40s or 50s. Who else do you know from neighborhood and knocking on doors, getting a percentage of your money for life insurance, health, life insurance? It's the same thing. So when people say, oh, I don't like network marketing, do you have life insurance? You're buying into it. Mm. You don't even know it exists. So that's one of the things I say. If you have a good salesperson, you don't even know you're being sold. Mm. The homeless person that you got coming down that you're giving your $5, $10 to at the subway station that you gave to because you felt bad for it, you got sold. You don't even know you were sold. Mm. What did you get? Nothing. I got a feeling. Can you pay bills with a feeling? It's a transaction. You gave away money. Did you get something for it? Oh, I got good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's definitely
You
right.
paid for your car. You gave them money. You got a car. If you paid them that money and you got nothing, how would you feel?
Not great.
Right. So there's a threshold for that. Maybe $5, maybe $10, but you know you're not going to go out and give a homeless person $100, will you?
Right. Okay.
That's why you call nonprofits. Give us donorship. You're rolling in the money. Give us that, and the government say we'll take the taxes off if you give away some of your money. The Cancer Society, Children's Hospital, all of this stuff is still sales. You get transaction, you give them money, you get back a tax credit.
Yeah. So there's a benefit to be had there. And Benjamin,
Yeah.
you seem really, really passionate about sales. And I always ask every guest this question, but obviously the answer is very different depending on who they are. But what is it about sales that brings you the most joy?
Oh, helping people. Helping people get their lives, giving careers for people, getting people the products that they need and want. It's very simple. Sales is simple, but it's not easy. When you understand the encompassing of how everything still works, because there's normally bad connotations with sales, normally when it comes to cars, or people who rip you off or rip off artists all the time gets the highlights, right? And those guys who do that has a purpose. They have a focus. They don't care about you. It's about the money. So when you sell for good, people don't talk about that. They always talk about the bad part. That's why I couldn't be a salesperson. What is it? Oh, I couldn't do that. That's so crooked. You don't even know what it's about. But it's all around you. It's happening all the time. That person's still probably giving $5 to a homeless person once a week. They don't even know they're being sold. I don't like sales. Yeah, but you're being sold every day.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? I don't like taxes. You pay them every day.
True.
So it's the understanding of that and being able to understand it's part of life. When a child asks you to pick them up, they're selling you. There's no money involved, but they're asking you. They're closing you. And they constantly close. It's still a sale. It's everywhere. So what I do is teach people the understanding of that, and with that, life becomes easier.
Where can the people find you online?
3 ways. 360 Sales Consulting. That's the website. My Instagram is where people are like popular, right? Instagram is Ben Brown Trey, Ben Brown Trey. And also I have a they can actually, if they want to, they can get in contact with me directly. I have the URL meetwithbenjamin.com, and you can click on that, meetwithbenjamin.com, and you can actually schedule an appointment to sit down with me, see if I can. Simple.
Thank you for listening to People Explained. New episodes come out every Monday. We would appreciate it if you gave us a review on Apple Podcasts and shared this episode with a friend.